What happens when you bring two of the world's best collectors together and challenge them to go head-to-head in a 10-round auction battle? Welcome to Clash of the Collectables. Two experts compete on a road trip treasure hunt.
Carry on whinging.
Our combatants, Great Britain's international antique star, Eric Knowles.
I'm butting for Britain.
He's travelled to Australia to take on top dealer, author and retro lover, Alan Carter.
So it is a genuinely difficult competition. I want to beat him and he wants to beat me.
You're looking at me. You're looking at me.
It's all about outwitting,
$50. I'll give you 60.
outdealing,
Gotta watch this one.
Over $200, Alan. Are you serious?
and outselling in a massive auction showdown.
First, second, third and final I'll sell.
Whoever makes the most profit after 10 rounds of auctions will win the competition. Both our experts can buy anything they want, and we mean anything.
It's so you.
Because yesterday's perfect purchase could turn out to be auction day's big dud.
Paid 100 for those.
Ouch.
So fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
I want to kick you.
What a bad loser.
Alan has 4 wins in the 10-round competition. Eric has 3. It's now critical Eric wins round 8 to stay in the race. The battleground remains Queensland's capital, Brisbane, and there's plenty of amazing places ahead. First stop, Woolen, Gaba, near the world-famous Gaba Sports Stadium.
We are at the Woolen Gaba Antique Centre.
Have you got friends here, Alan?
Well, I do have friends.
Yes.
I'm sorry that I've got so many friends, Eric. It really
Yeah, I
annoys you,
know.
doesn't it?
No.
We'll go somewhere one day when I don't know anyone. So this is a start
Round 8.
of round 8. So this round feels a little bit light, Eric. It does feel a little bit light.
I'm reading it, Alan, before you get to it. But there it is. Well, 900 Australian dollars is not, it's not to be sniffed at, is it?
No, not to be cheered about either, is it, really? You know what I mean? You could do,
Well, listen.
you could do that one lump.
We could do. So we'll have to be very discerning with our buying here, because we've got a lot to get through today.
The place is full of retro. There's lots of retro everywhere. But not just retro. There's all sorts of antiques and collectibles in there. It's got a wonderful energy to it. It's got a wonderful young energy.
Alan's raced around and spotted some Hollywood glamour.
Yes, I think I was down the end there.
But now he's lost it.
It's nothing special. It's run by a young lady named Sarah Jane and her dad, Dave. Sarah Jane is always dressed in bright colours. She's a very funny young lady and we got on very well. There she is. So look, I'm just looking at it because, for one thing, I've always been in love with Marilyn.
She is beautiful.
She is. It looks good, sits well. It's only $50. It's not a lot of money, but I just wonder what would be the best you could do on that one.
Say 40?
I'd like to argue with you on it, but I can't. So it's a deal.
Locked in.
Thank you. The thing, I think, for $40, how can you go wrong? Anyone like Marilyn's got to pay $80 for it, aren't they? I would pay $80 for it. So it's a commercial decision driven by the heart. How's that sound?
Now, I like these sort of table candelabra because although they're brass, they've not been polished. And consequently, they've got a sort of pale bronze type effect. I'm not sure they're any later than the 60s, 70s, but I got a pair of them. They weren't what I would call cheap, but I wasn't going to leave them because they were so stylish.
We could do around 10% off?
10%?
Yes.
OK,
That's
that's the standard here, isn't it?
It is.
OK, so 10% off, 240, $216, yes?
That's right.
OK, you got a deal. $216.
Lock it in.
Yeah.
Thank you.
OK. If you were watching Alan Carter, that's the handshake that confirms the deal. So, eyes off. OK. But before you go, tell me about this outfit, because...
Wow.
I mean...
You know...
What is this, 70s?
I like to blend into the background, yes. Just 1970s movement.
No? Right.
Very Diana Roth.
when you go into antique centres, they're very large, and you're going to see thousands of things, and you have to go around once and just let your eye rest on everything at once as you go around, and then you go around again and see where your eye actually ends up and stops. I actually really like that coffee table. I like the shape, the style of it. It's this sort of smoky glass down the bottom, so it's a very nice thing. But he's got 120 on it. We get on really well, Sarah Jane, because we understand each other very well. I mean, I can't get near 120, right? But
yeah.
If I got to 70, could you work on 70? I asked Sarah Jane what the best will be.
70, we could probably push it to 90.
What about 80? I say $80.
I'm gonna have to stick to 90.
She said $90. And she'll look at me, and I'll look at her, and there'll be a pause. And it's like, who's going to blink first? It's always me, because she's got beautiful blue eyes, and she just devastates me. So whenever she stares at me, she gets her way. Those eyes tell me 90. It's a deal.
Great.
Thanks, Sarah.
As we know, Alan's a dealer's best friend. But once again, Eric is struggling. Cautious Eric has only bought some candlesticks so far. Come on, old mate. There must be 10,001 things here to buy.
I'm looking at the Lynch,
Oh, yes.
but...
Everyone loves a Lynch print.
I know, but like, she's 220 bucks.
Yeah, that's cheap.
No, it's not cheap. No, it's not cheap. You know it's not cheap. It's over the top. There's a little bit moth-eaten around the edges. I don't think it's ever been framed. And I'll point out everything terrible I can think about.
We call that
say,
well-loved.
You call that well-loved. Right. And what's the best that can be done on that one?
For you?
Yeah, be free.
Well, I'm thinking 200 is a really good price.
I've got to do better than that. Can you do 160?
Tell you what, for you, Alan, 180.
170? No. She goes 180. I go 170. She goes 180. She looks at me and I go, oh, I've got that stare again. I've got the instant stare, that's the end of the line. Done. I'll read your eyes all right. I lose far more bargaining with women than I do with men. I give in. I think it's because I've got 3 daughters and a wife. I'm sort of more used to giving in than winning.
Okay.
Alan's scoring well, while Eric, well, he can't see the trees for the forest.
I don't want to be unkind, but after a while, one stand begins to look like the last stand, and it just, you know, sort of phases you a little bit because, you know, you're not sure what you're looking for because you don't find it, it seems to find you. So, I mean, or maybe it's just that this is around 8, so I'm around about 20 antique centres on the road in the last 8 days. Not an excuse, possible reason.
Woolen Gaba is Eric's Bermuda Triangle. He's lost and becalmed in a sea of retro. Finally, a lifeline.
I finally find a very distinctive piece of English pottery from the 1930s. Well, here's an interesting selection of tea-wares from the old country, and the designer is a bit of a legend, and her name is Susie Cooper. Now, I never actually met Susie, but we did have several telephone conversations. I used to be the rep for my old firm in the Isle of Man, and that's where she lived. And I invited her to an author's breakfast. I'd written a book and had a promotion on the island, and sadly, she had a cold, so she couldn't make it, and we never did get to meet. But either way, I just had to have that coffee pot. It's a lovely, stylish. She's very chic, as our Susie Cooper.
We'll say $35.
35. Price at 30.
That's,
OK, yeah, that's 39, down to 35.
Down to 35.
Yeah, it's the gesture that matters, isn't it? OK.
Well done.
All right, that's
Yes.
great. Okay.
Well,
lovely.
Alan's cruising and having fun.
I think I'm going to hang fire on what I bought 3 lots. I'd really like to buy half a dozen. But I'm already over $300 spent here, and we've only got $900 for this particular round, and we've got another 2 venues to go to. So I think I'm just going to hold fire now and call it quits. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do. And we've got a little bit of time because Eric's still going. So I might just go around and try all these hats on. Because Milo, my friendly cameraman, loves to get me putting stupid hats on.
But could Eric finally be scoring some runs?
I did actually find a dish, which at first glance I thought, oh, that's a nice Oriental dish. Oh, it's probably Straits Chinese, you know, which is really in demand. But the colours and they're all wrong for Oriental. I worked it out. I'm looking at something that would speak to me, if it could, in a French accent. And it was almost certainly made by a man called Samson, who was working in Paris in the late 19th century. And he was a great, to put it politely, copyist.
Well, we'll make it even $50.
$50. It was $55, $50.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
It doesn't need any thinking. OK, we've got a deal.
It's done.
OK, excellent.
Thanks.
The first stop of 3, and Alan buys 3 lots for $310.
Okey-dokey. I better just check this and make sure
That's actually my face on the other side.
Eric also buys 3 lots for $301.
And there's your receipt.
OK, now my man will come along and collect these.
Lovely.
And hopefully he'll carry on his good work and pack them properly. He answers to the name of Alan.
Don't you find it amazing, though, how many antique shops and centres there are? And everybody is making a living, one way or the other. The vast majority of people are just making the average wage. But that's all they want. Because to be an antique dealer or dealer in antiques and collectibles is fun. And you're your own boss, you can do what you like. So if you don't make a lot of money, you do have a good life. After recovering from Sarah Jane slaughtering me, we went over to a place called Sherwood Bazar in Oxley Road, Sherwood. They've been here for about 30-odd years or so. They use the outside of the shop as a shop.
Yeah.
Right, inside quite a giant store.
Yeah.
But in there's loads of rooms. Every room is completely full of stuff. These prices are good, not cheap, but you have to look because they may do a deal and there may be a few buys.
Well, let's seek and see if we can find Alan. You go that way, I'll go this way.
That's right.
This is actually a big house with many rooms, and they've just, you know, filled it with antiques.
It's a very wide selection, but nothing is at giveaway prices.
And they have some amazing items, like this curiosity.
Do you know what this is, fellas? You should do, because they are. I've seen a few before. Not many.
Travelling microscope.
Yeah, for a botanist.
OK.
Or somebody looking at bugs. About 1850.
These are ivory.
And then you want your reflector underneath.
What precision is that?
That's a lovely thing.
This, for me, in this show, is a big-ticket item. That's $325. But I really like it. It's a very nice little 3-piece children's cane dining suite, and I just loved it. It was just a nice colour, everything about it perfect. What is the best you could do for me on that little trio?
225.
Could you do 2? Yeah, I'll give you cash. And we take it away with us.
OK. Yep.
Thanks very much, Will.
Cheers.
Nice buy. Thank you very much indeed.
No worries.
Went inside, looked around inside, found it very difficult to find things that I could actually buy because although there were things there you could buy, you've already bought similar things, so you've got to reject those. And then you've got to reject the ones that are too dear, and then you've got to reject the ones that are not quite right. And so you're struggling and struggling and struggling and struggling. So I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll drop down the market a little bit. I'll see if I can see some funny gear, some different uninteresting stuff. And the first thing I found was a keyring holder. Found 2 very, very nice figures. They're Bond. They look very similar in style to Royal Copenhagen, and they were for nothing. They were like $35 each, I think, held on those. And then I found a wooden thermometer. Could you do 45 on the lot?
From 137.
Does that mean no?
No, that means no, no. How about 100?
a 137, is it? What about 80?
90.
What about, I'm tight on it, right? What about 85?
Yeah, okay then.
Okay.
Okay. Cheers.
Well, thank you. Now, this is what I like most. It's really stupid. What that is like a little keyhole, key hanger. You know, put your keys on there. But it's an octopus made out of spoons. What a silly thing that is.
Eric is falling behind again.
Try as I may, I just couldn't find anything that fit within my budget. And at last I came across them, the likes of which I'd never seen before, because it turned out to have been made in New Zealand, but it was a pokerwork vase with the portrait of a Maori girl, and the hairstyle told me that she dated from around about 1920, 1925.
Pokerwork was popular in the 1920s. It was made by burning patterns and portraits into wooden objects using a red-hot needle. This is an absolute collectible.
It's never been finished.
No, it hasn't been finished off.
Yeah, which doesn't bother me. I know it might some. I'm not being a purist. I'm looking at that purely from a decorative point of view.
Absolutely. It's very nicely done, yes. Yeah, it takes a lot of time.
So if I was to buy it, it's got an asking price of 145 Australian dollars. What sort of money I'm going to have to pay to take this girl away with me?
How about $100 today?
$100? That sounds like a pretty good offer from you to me. So if I put my hand there and you put yours there, $100.
And it's Eric's only buy. Allan has 5 lots, including his Hero Kid setting, for a total of $285.
There's 270. That do?
No.
It's 285.
Change, sir?
Yes, please.
Oh, it works one way, doesn't it? Have you noticed? But not the other.
Thank you.
I'm learning.
Thanks very much, Paul.
Well, I'm on a place called Sandgate Road, and that's as much as I can tell you, apart from the fact that I'm in Brisbane. And this is the Antiques Emporium. It says Incorporating Discovery Corner, whatever that is. And I would like to be going into this building with my my opposition, but as the proverbial, dare I say, rat up a drain pipe, he's in there in quick time. So I'm going to go in there and give him some serious competition.
It is a beautiful centre and beautifully set out and incredibly expensive. Look, when I say something's expensive, nothing's expensive if somebody's prepared to pay that money for it. But if you're trying to buy something and sell it on to make a profit, then all the profit's gone in the ticket price that you're seeing. You've got to try and get that ticket price down. In that particular place, it was quite difficult to do.
And that turns up the pressure on Eric. He's arrived at his last scheduled stop with roughly $500 he must spend. Once again, Allan's confident he's on a winning strategy.
I tend to cut my losses and go, OK, if I can't find something really good, I'll go right down the bottom and I'll buy 3 or 4 things that are not quite so good but still look good, and you put them up in the auction. There's 3 depression glass bowls here. This red one, I think that's quite a remarkable colour, so I think I might have a go at that. I always say, and I'm going to try and prove it, that it doesn't matter the level of the shop you go into. If you're right at the top of the market, even the best shops, there's always something you can buy. Just saw that, I really like that. It's a leather playing card holder with a pen slots as well, and it's in a stand which is in the form of a chrome stirrup. So I quite like that. $65 on it, maybe buyable. I think this for $95 is a bit dear, so about $65 would do it.
Allan completes his bundle with a retro wall telephone and in record time seals the deal with centre owner Jill Phillips.
I've known her for 30-odd years, and she's a very, very nice lady. But she could see we were struggling.
Yep, 65 is fine for that.
Right.
20 each for those.
Right.
50 for... Oh, we've done the cards. The phone's fine at 65.
Done. All done.
All is done.
Yep. There's a deal.
It's a deal.
Allan's got 6 lots.
Again, it was such a struggle. I'm not a whinging pom, I promise you. I'm looking hard, I'm searching, I'm checking the prices. And then the only thing that I could find was quite a large white jug made by Crown Devon in Staffordshire in around about 1930. I have to admit, looking at this jug initially, I thought it was a work in progress because, you know, you'd think it was waiting to go through to the decorating shop. But the more I look at it, the more I can see it's all about texture, isn't it?
The decorating. Sort of that emu egg almost look.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think many people in Stoke-on-Trent have ever seen an emu egg. Yeah, but because this is where it all comes from. I just need to know if we can do anything on the price. So can I let you have a look and I'll just watch, wait and see.
She's got 80 on it. This particular dealer's normally a no discount dealer, but
yeah,
I'm sure she'll do 10% and we'll say round it down to 70 instead of 80.
That would be perfect.
I've got to spend $60. It's the end of this particular round. And there's nothing in there for $60 that I can buy. So I spoke to Jill and I said, look, I've only got $60. Is there anything in here that I can buy for $60? And she said, oh, I'll go and have a look. So she got up and she wandered around and she came back.
Alan, I found something really good here for you. You won't be able to say no.
Oh,
It's
no, I
wonderful.
usually say no to jewellery because I don't think about it.
Right, well, you shouldn't in this case. It's Hardy Brothers. It's a wonderful brooch in its original box. Now, I've got 145 on it, but if you've only got 60...
That's what I got.
Let's make it a deal.
You serious?
Tough, yeah, but you're tough, but I'll do
Thank
it
you
for
very
you.
much.
OK, thanks,
very
Alan.
much, thank you. Wow.
I am going to pay my bill, which is a modest, I realise, a modest, $70. So I've been to 3 places and I've bought 5 items. It's not enough. It really isn't enough. So I've got over $400 left to spend.
And I think he's really struggling. I mean, I've had a difficult time. I think Eric's really struggling. He wants to buy better things. And he would have had a whack of money left. And I'm looking at that and thinking he's in a bit of trouble here.
Well, I'm on a learning curve, Alan, and you're on a slippery slope. OK.
Yeah,
all right.
We'll see.
Eric still has $430 to spend after falling short in all 3 locations. So it's back in the car and across Brisbane to a small family-run business.
OK, I know you don't have to tell me. This round is not going very well for me at the moment. I mean, I'm looking to spend money, I'm finding good objects, but they're all at a price, and a price I simply can't afford. I don't want to start committing financial harry-carry. Now, I've got good money to spend, and I am looking to spend it. I have got my final buying venue behind me. It's a place called Turn of the Century Antiques. But when I see that sign, I'm seeing something else. It says, for me, Last Chance Saloon. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. That man Carter has spent up. So this is a solo buying expedition. Immediately, I think this is good, because I look up to one side and I see a Picasso. I don't mind saying I'm not a big Picasso fan, but the thing is, I'm outnumbered by millions of people who are, which is good from a selling point of view. Can I have a quick look at what we've got? I'm not sure whether this is his blue period or any other period, but I just like the idea of buying a Picasso. You know, it's $50. Is there dare I say, a trade price? I am trade.
Yeah.
OK.
I'd probably do it for 30.
30, OK. People dream about buying a Picasso for $30, don't they? time is ticking. I've still got money to spend. I see a rather nice Chinese brass brush pot. Obviously belonged to somebody who believed that cleanliness was next to godliness and polished it to within an inch of its life. It's such a shame because it shouldn't be polished. It should have a nice dark brown patination to it. Well, around about 1900 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think originally it would have been for your brush pots, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
for
probably, yeah.
paint brushes and such like
Yeah.
that. So it would be on a scholar's desk. Well, I can see it's priced at $160. We both know that had it not been polished, then, you know, it would be double or treble that figure,
Yes.
wouldn't it? Really would.
Yes.
So I'm just looking at it from a decorative point of view.
How does 110 sound?
I don't want to come across as Mr. Meanie, but I mean, if I could buy that in that condition for 80,
Yeah, all right, Eric, it's you. Done.
good lad. And then they start showing me things like there was a set of carved wooden painted circus animals that all went into an architectural sort of shaped box.
I'd say it's probably German, around pre-World War I, something like that.
Yeah.
It's a charming little thing.
It is charming. I'm captivated by this. Let me just show this to those at home. Oh, look at that for a cheeky monkey. You've got to admire the imagination, whoever created that little piece. The asking price was $50. I got them for $35. I thought that was, you know, pretty reasonable.
Eric, come have a look at this. I bet you've never seen one of these before.
Well, I have seen something similar, but usually with a few chips, a bit of boiled rice and roast vegetables. So,
Yeah.
a lobster?
It's a crayfish, taxidermied crayfish.
You know, I don't know whether to ask the asking price for something like this, if you were to sell it, or the market price, which is what you would normally be paying in a restaurant. So, what do you reckon it?
I have no idea.
Oh, good. That makes me feel really intelligent, because I equally have got no idea. All I know is if you had 2 of these, yeah?
Yeah.
They'd be worth twice as much. You've got to be an expert to know this stuff.
Without fast-dealing Alan breathing down his neck, Eric has time to unearth some real treasures.
A pair of Clarice Cliff salt and pepper pots. Quite tastefully, colourfully enamelled.
Have a look. But be careful, they're full of salt and pepper.
Oh, are they?
They were used up to when I bought them.
All right. So, in perfect working order, you might say.
You could say that,
Oh,
yes.
they've even got the original corks in the bottom.
Yep.
I'm just a bit worried that they may be a bit beyond me.
Yep.
So, what price have we got on that?
We've got $250, but look, 200.
200 for the
Yep.
2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Complete with salt and pepper.
So, Bernie, you're the patriarch of this family business.
Yes.
Bernie comes along with a pair of bookends, carved ebony, Indian, probably around about 1930. They're quite ferocious and yet silly at the same time, aren't they? They really are. So I see you've got them priced at 75. Dare I ask what the best price might be?
45.
45. Can I come back at you?
Yeah.
OK, because there's got to be a bit of a rally,
Yeah,
hasn't there?
yeah,
OK.
yeah,
If I offered you 35, would I walk away with them?
I'd check your head.
Good lad. Thank you very much indeed.
Here's something, Eric. What do you reckon? What do you think of this? For the homesick Pom.
Actually, I'm not that homesick because I'm enjoying glorious sunshine and serious heat. Phil produced this map of London, which had been published for the Daily Telegraph around about 1950. Yeah, this is my adopted home. I was playing from the heart. That's my city. I am a Londoner. I am actually, believe it or not, I have the freedom of the City of London, which I hope that would give me access to every pub. But it doesn't work like that. But I can tell you now, I can drive my sheep across London Bridge. It's not me at 50. I mean, if we could, forgive me trying, but if we could do 20. All right. Oh, that's sharp intake of breath. Do you know, the wonderful thing is, wherever I am in the world, The antique dealer from every country does that sharp intake of breath. It's part of the business, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
part of the
there.
business. Where can we go?
Well, probably best I could do 30.
30.
Yeah. All right.
Done deal. Done deal. So I think you can say it was somewhat fortuitous that I went through the doors of turn of the century. You could say that they've saved my bacon. And from a personal point of view, I've got to say that I feel now well armed to take on that Mr. Carter at the auction.
I wouldn't mind betting there's a sleeper in there somewhere, and that's the thing that worries me about Eric, is the sleeper that nobody knows about. That's the thing.
This is Judgment Day at Lawsons Auctioneers. Allan leads 4-3. Eric must win to stay in the race. Can his Brisbane treasures come up trumps?
So, round 8, auction 8, it is Brisbane Day, insofar as that everything in that auction was purchased in Brisbane.
So, lot 801, the pair of brass table candelabra. Where do we go? 20, 30 here, 40, 50, 60.
The brass Scandinavian, they are $216 to me.
70, 80, 90 up back.
I'm convinced they're going to give me a profit.
At 100. Light up her life.
Go on, go for
Leave her to it. $100. Any further? Are we done and sure at 100? No more? $100 takes it away. Congratulations.
Big ouch.
Ooh, Eric.
A $116 loss. This is the start. I'm thinking, come on.
Cheap, cheap, cheap.
Oh, you can say that, but...
I did say that. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Sound like a little bird.
The Woolen Gaba Antique Centre, the first thing I saw there was a very large print of Marilyn Monroe. So I bought that for $40 from the heart.
80, 90, 100 with me. At 100 for Marilyn. At $100 for Marilyn Monroe.
When was it printed?
I don't know, but I paid $40 for it, so I'm quite happy.
Alan did really well with Marilyn Monroe. Popular culture, it's always going to be a winner.
Next up is a Samson dish that I paid $50 for. Very nice, mint condition.
100 for it. Well, half it can start me at 50. 50 if you will. $50, don't be shy.
I'm thinking, oh, come on, this is a 100, 150 object.
Goodness me, I'll refer to the book. I've got a cheeky 10, and off we go.
Oh, cheeky 10.
That is a cheeky 10.
He's got sitting on his hands.
Even I wouldn't bid that.
At $15. Down the front at $15 on the Samson charger. Should be hands everywhere.
Yeah, there should be.
At 35.
They're not.
Sold.
35, OK. I'll take that on the chin, minus 15.
Next up, the second of Allan's retro poster girls from Woolen Gaba.
I was thinking maybe $250, $300.
Are we done? No further. $90. 903.
$90. That was cheap, was it?
Well, it cost me 180 and I was glad to buy
Oh, no, did it?
it.
Looks like Allan's got a bad feeling about today's auction.
This will die.
Oh, don't say that.
It
Be
will.
positive, Alan.
No,
Be
you won't know what
positive.
you're doing.
Today is one of the hottest days we've had an auction. Do you think that has anything to do with it? And then, of course, we find Susie Cooper's coming up next. Remember the coffee pot, 3 cups and saucers.
At $60. Any more bidding than at 60, I will
Who
sell. 70.
Good lad.
Front at 70.
A man with taste.
$70 only. Are we done? No more.
No.
Time for tea. $70.
$70. Susie did not let me down.
87.
Double my money.
Now time for Allan's Sherwood Bazar bundle, starting with his unique octopus key holder.
I defy any of you to find me another in a hurry. Goodness me.
Yeah.
OK.
A key ring?
Well,
great.
It's to hang your keys on, too.
Oh, to hang them on. You wouldn't put it in your pocket then?
No,
Nothing like that.
put it on the wall.
OK, all right.
Selling at 30, $30.
If I'd have seen that, I wouldn't have bought it.
I bought it for $15.
Oh, well, you double your money.
And just made 15.
Double your money.
His other 3 bundle items sell for $30 each, giving Allan a massive total profit of $25.
Without being mean to the audience, they are slightly lethargic all of a sudden. I think they
The room's lost energy.
need a sugar rush, don't they?
Today was a tough gig. The crowd just wasn't enjoying themselves, and it was a bit like pulling teeth. Sometimes you just don't get the vibe.
Eric's hoping his century-old pokerwork vase gives him a much-needed bounce.
I thought it was very, very strong. So I paid $100 for it. I'm thinking, quid saying goodbye.
At 90 here.
Is that all?
At 90 on the book, then.
90.
Any further bidding? I'm not going to beg. At 90.
No.
100. 110 again.
Thank you,
At
God.
110 here. With the absentee at 110 still. At 110, sold.
OK, $10 profit. Have you ever tried knitting fog?
No.
Have you ever tried plaiting treacle?
And you think that's what it's like?
Here's where they stand. Eric has sold 4 lots for $315, but he's in the red, losing $136 on his purchase prices. Allan has sold 6 lots for $310. He's made just $5 profit, so it's not looking good for Eric.
Now, let's not forget that I actually bought a Picasso, and I paid Princess Sum of $30 for it. Yes, I know it's a print. How many Picassos have you bought on this trip?
None.
So,
Ooh la la. Eric's Picasso only paints a $5 profit.
$35. Oh, my God. It'll be in the papers. It'll be in the papers with that. Picasso goes for $35.
And his brass brush pot, that makes $20.
They're only small profits, that's the point.
But these gains are immediately wiped out when his 1930s Crown Devon jug loses $30.
Oh, well.
767.
I'm sure it's going to go to a good home, isn't it? That's all I'm bothered about.
Is it really?
His retro London map loses him $10. These are desperate times for Eric. If he keeps losing money like this, he'll have no chance of winning the competition.
40, I'm selling.
Okay.
Last chance.
I know you
$40.
That wasn't so much a statement I'm selling, it was more of a threat.
Allan manages a combined $25 profit on his Depression glass bowls.
At 25, you can all join in.
How can 2 of them be worth 30 and 1 be worth 25?
I don't know. I don't know.
Get it?
I don't know.
But then he rings up losses on his old phone.
That is so
She
cheap.
goes 35.
Cost?
60.
The Shelley Harmony bowl
818.
$70 for that.
and the stirrup card stand.
$20 I'm selling.
That costs
Sold.
60.
How much?
Things are going for such low prices that Eric and Allan want to get in on the action.
I want to bid for that, you see. I'll break the rules and bid.
$5.
Can't bid.
I know we can't.
50.
You know.
20. 25. 25
This
here.
is like 2 small boys looking in a toffee shop.
Not
And
bad.
we're not allowed to suck a sweet.
We're selling. Your sir 752.
That's a big price, 752. Well, that was his lot number,
Is that
wasn't it?
$30 in it?
Something like that.
A tough auction crowd, a difficult buying round. It's a real possibility that Eric and Allan won't even make back their $900.
I have, in all honesty, been to far more vibrant undertakers' conventions than I have this. So I don't want to be too damning. I really don't. But there you go.
At $50.
Allan is pinning his hopes on his hero cane setting. But first, his lovely brooch.
At $70. We're getting warmed up.
Telephone bid, I want a telephone bid.
At $80 on the telephone. At $80 only. 90. Ladies bid. 100. Phone bidder. Any more.
$100.
At 100.
That's good. 100.
Phones. Selling. Last chance. 100.
That is $40 profit. Now, the first of Eric's 3 final lots goes under the hammer. Remember, he needs some big hits to stay alive.
Next up are a pair of Indian carved bookends in the form of lions. 50. $25 a lion. What's that?
$50.
50. Oh, well, OK.
No further.
Oh, no. All
Last
right.
chance. $50.
OK.
Sold.
Having paid $35 for them, I was quite happy to see a profit.
Allan's hopes all ride on his mint condition 1930s setting.
$40, $50, $60.
That's all right.
Away
Nice
at
enough.
$60
It's $220
only. At 60, 70 here. At 70 on the floor, exhaust my bids. 80 behind him. At $80. At $80 only are we done and sure. It's a nice thing. At 80, it's going out.
Oh dear. Alan's failed to make back his $900. Is Eric in the same boat? Can his $35 circus animals perform?
180, 190, 200 starts me away. At 200, 200, 200,
Oh, that's all right.
240, at 240.
Forgive the shock.
240.
Shock.
Eric. Oh, it's a yawn.
Oh, right. What was that?
And
240?
240.
240. Somebody paid $240 for the lot. I mean, that was so unexpected because I'd only paid $35, so that was a nice, tidy profit. Just came out of nowhere.
Well, there's a flyer for the home.
Thank you very much. Excuse me while I just have a quick word. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll be there on Sunday.
But it's still not enough to get Eric past the $900. Can his Clarice Cliff get him over the line?
At $100 with the absentees. At $100, 110. At 110, are we done?
I personally would have paid a couple of $100 those to put him in the house.
110. 899 takes it away.
Wow.
Paid 200 for those. Ouch. $90 loss.
That is not anything like a realistic price.
A disappointing result for Eric with the Clarice Cliff salt and pepper, which just goes to show that you can't always pick it. Clarice Cliff is usually a steady market. There's normally quite a, you know, it's normally a safe bet.
Sadly, on the day, the market just was not there.
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That concludes round 8, and the results are in, and I can let you know that Eric, your sales totals are $930. Congratulations. Alan, you've come up short, only $705. So Eric wins by $225. Well done.
Classic case of good things come to those who wait, eh?
Gentlemen, you are now tied at 4 rounds all. Can't wait to see what happens next.
To sum up that auction, in fairness, it was a bumpy ride for both me and Alan. I don't think either of us really excelled in any shape or form.
That's the sort of the vagaries of putting stuff to auction. It's only, the auctions are about who's there to buy or who's on the internet or who's looking or who's on the phone. You don't know who they are. And so at every auction, things slip through the cracks.
Roll on, auction number 9.
Next time, the treasure hunt heads into the outback.
It's a dingo trap. It's a trap for a dingo dog.
My office never looked like this.
And Eric enters the bizarre world of blokey auctions.
Fully restored, ready to go into the man cave.
That's next on Clash of the Collectables.